Hello, everybody. Welcome to Very Impromptu Sprints. I hope you guys are staying warm. If you have snow where you are, we have snow where we are, me and Wendy. And I think that, did you get snow, Keisha? Just a little bit?
We're going to get 4 to 6 inches on Friday.
Yeah. So we're like just passing the time with some good reading sprints for tonight. And it's been a while since we've been able to be together. So super excited about that. And we are also playing a game right now in Gwen's Patreon, which is Clue. Won't give too much of that away, but it is a lot of fast-paced reading and a lot of people have a lot of reading to do. And I know that Wendy has already like blown through like 3 different rooms, I think. She's gotten a lot of clues. I've only gotten one clue. I'm a little clueless, pun intended. I need to get cracking on reading, but I'm going to let my lovely host or co-host introduce themselves, and we're going to get to some actual reading sprints. I promise you we're not going to talk the whole time. We're going to be good. Maybe. We'll start with Wendy.
Hello, my name is Wendy from Wendy's Inspired Reads, and I'm reading Carrie Soto is Back tonight. I'm a little over halfway, so I should finish today. It's really good.
That's awesome.
I love her characters. Like, I don't like character-driven stories at all. But I like hers. I don't know why. Like, I don't even care about tennis, but I just like reading her characters.
Yeah, you liked reading her book, even though she's technically, I think, women's fiction, like sort of almost lit fic in a way.
She is.
Yeah.
And I hate that, but I like her books. Like, I probably will read them all.
That's so funny. I feel the same way about, like, I think that this one.
Are you beeping or is that me?
I'm not beeping.
Okay. It's Discord. I just wanted to make sure it was me and not like your camera.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Okay.
so. I think that Rebecca Searle is also a little bit, to me, she's more like literary fiction too, in a way, magical realism, but a little bit of fiction. But I did really like her books. What about you? What are you reading tonight, Keisha?
Okay, well, let's talk Clue for like 2 seconds. I've also only gotten one clue, but I'm at the door to my next room, but I don't want to stop reading this yet, so I'm just gonna wait because I can do what I want. I'm reading Disney High.
Ooh!
It's the untold story of the rise and fall of Disney Channel's tween empire. So if you grew up with Disney Channel between like 2000 and 2012,
yeah,
the prime of Disney Channel,
I love it.
This is your book. So
I'm excited.
I'm so excited about it. It's got like, it tells you kind of where the Disney Channel started and how they kind of didn't know what they identified as. Like Nickelodeon was like the funny kids, like gross entertainment, and they couldn't really figure out, like, we have Disney parks, we have Disney movies, but what is this Disney Channel thing? But then it goes through, like, after you get through that part, there was a chapter on Even Stevens and then Lizzie McGuire, which my heart. So, and now I'm about to get into the That's So Raven one. So it's just like behind the scenes and different stuff.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is like perfect for you because you're such a Disney fan. And so am I. I think I have seen every Disney Channel original movie ever. It's so good. What's your favorite, Wendy? Have you watched a lot of those growing up?
I mean, I don't think I could pick a favorite, but I've probably watched them all.
I would say
I love them all. Like, I can't pick.
Yeah.
Probably a Hilary Duff one was probably one of my favorites. Like, her movie was one of my favorites. Ice Princess was one of my favorites. Cheetah Girl, which is Ice Princess a Disney Channel?
I think it was.
It's probably affiliated if it's not. I know Go Figure was a Disney Channel.
Yeah, I don't think that
like they've just shown on there.
Ice Princess, I don't think was a Disney Channel original movie, but it was shown on Disney Channel. So
I can't remember. I love Cheetah Girls. I mean, all the girly movies.
Yeah. I'm with you. I love anything Hilary Duff, like Cadet Kelly, the Lizzie McGuire movie. Also, I love Cheetah Girls, but Xenon was like a favorite of mine. I loved Xenon. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I loved. Does anyone remember? This is the most obscure Disney Channel original movie. Alley Cat Strike. It was about
Yeah, it was one of the original.
loved that. And so funny. I was watching the Vampire Diaries, and one of the characters on that makes like a cameo, like he's on Vampire Diaries. And I was like, oh my gosh, he was on Alley Cat Strike. Nobody remembers this movie probably, but
I know.
yeah, you know. I bet anyone, I wonder if anyone in the comments would know. Already Corinne is like, this, I'm too old for this era. That's so funny.
I feel sorry for you that you missed the era.
It is a good era. Like, I loved Disney Channel original movies era. All right, we're going to start with some comments. But first,
what are you reading?
I was going to say, I'm going to get to that. Before comments, I actually took my dust jacket off. I am reading The Ministry of Time, and this is by Kaylin Bradley. Okay, so I kind of have a funny story that only Wendy knows. But now you're all going to know. When I was voting for the Lolly, I had not read a lot of the books for Book of the Month. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go off one that I feel would be really good. And I've heard a lot of good things about it. And so I picked this as my number 3. And I don't know what everybody else scored, but I think I chose, which ones did I choose? I forget. The Women, and then Heartless Hunter. And then this was the third one. I have not even read it yet. What if I hate it and I voted for it? But I decided to just pick it up because I'm going to read it and hopefully live up to my rating when I nominated it. But so far it is actually really good. I'm on page 50, and I will say, this was not what I expected. So you think it's going to be really galactic looking, right? Like looking at the cover, it's got stars and all of that. It's actually about time travel. And it's like, without giving too much away, basically this ministry in Britain is going back in time and finding people that were involved in a huge event, but people that had died. So you know that their life wouldn't change if they saved them. So they died, so they didn't impact the future. So they're choosing people that they knew died that wouldn't change the future events of something that had already happened, but they're wanting to get a firsthand account of what happened in those events. And right now, they're bringing people back, and this girl is acting like this bridge to where she's bringing people back from the 1800s, 1600s, and she's helping them acclimate into society. It is hilarious because there are people from the 1800s trying to find out all of these new modern things. And it's just so, so good. I will say though, it is a very intelligent read. I have had to look up so many words already. It's making me feel a little stupid, but it is really good. I like it a lot. And her writing, this is her debut book, and her writing is really sensational. But if you don't know me already, my name is Leah Beth, and my channel name is Leah Beth Book Time. And we're doing impromptu sprints, and we're going to get to some comments here. Let's see. Grandma Susan said she couldn't make it. That is true. So on Hannah's book club, which is the Comfy Cozy, they are having movie night. And if you have not watched Knives Out, it is a very good movie for sure. Hey, Jesse. Hey, friends. I hope you're all doing well. Currently working on a few things, but if and when I do get to sit down and read, I hope to continue and finish 11/22/63 by Stephen King tonight. I've heard that's really good. Isn't that something you started to read, Wendy, or you were going to? Did you start it, or were you just?
I was going to. That's Jesse's favorite book, so I guess she's doing a reread.
Okay, yeah, because what is it about? I forget. Do you know?
It's about these people that time travel back in time to try to prevent the assassination of JFK.
Okay, more time travel. Hey, it's trending. Hey, Corinna. She says, hello, gorgeous ladies. Hey, Sarah. Glad to see that you're here. I had no desire to read it, but Tammy recommended it for my 12 and 12, so I will get to it. I'm assuming you're meaning the silent. Wait, no, we weren't talking about that. What were we talking about around that time? Carrie Soto is back. There we go. All right. Hey there. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Brandon, I feel really bad because I didn't love, or even really like The Measure, the book that you really enjoyed. I felt bad, but I just think that
everybody loves that book. It's so hyped.
I know it's a me problem. I think don't get me wrong. It was good. There wasn't anything bad about it, but I just don't think I'm a literary fiction person every time. When I get out of my lane and I try something new, it was just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm in the mood to read something deep and meaningful, and then sometimes I just don't care because that's probably what mood I was in. I just wanted like romance or excitement. But I will say The Measure is kind of about it's like looking at your life and taking account of it. And it's almost like a social experiment where people are given the gift of seeing how long their life would be and how that information would impact society. And so it was a very interesting read, truly, but it's just over my head. Let's just go with that. It's a me problem. Hi, Brandon. Hello, Jen. Hey, ladies. Think I'm going to start Death by Dumpling tonight. Very good choice. I love that. I have also read it. Wendy has read it as well just recently. And I think that you've also read it too, right, Keisha?
Not yet. I'm saving it.
You're the cozy queen and you have not read Death by Dumpling.
There's a reason I'm saving it, and I keep putting it off.
Gabby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Last year I did like the reading my friends' favorite cozies, and this is supposed to be for my next round of that, but I haven't been in the mood yet. But I think I'm going to try to do it next month because I don't want to get too behind on Hannah's read along. So
yeah, that makes sense. It's really good. I had like the optimal experience because I read it while eating Chinese food. So that was perfect. I'll be reading Someone in the Attic. That sounds creepy. That sounds like a Jules book. Jules from Books and Things on YouTube. She likes reading horror. She's a friend of ours. I want to read that too, Keisha. Very good.
Oh, I forgot to mention that Lelaine, the girl that played Miranda in Lizzie McGuire, she narrates this too on the audiobook.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That would be really great. I'm going to definitely check that out. Is it available on Hoopla or do you know?
It wasn't. No, because if you have the same one as Wendy, then no.
Boo. That's right. Because you guys share. Very cool. Wendy, I have Carrie Soto on my TBR this month. I've heard it's very good, but I have heard that book annoys people somewhat because her character is like really mean or like aggressive. So
I mean, honestly, I think it fits with most sports people. I mean, I also went into it knowing that, so it's not bothering me. Like all I've heard is people say how mean she is. So going in, I already knew that. So it's not like shocking or anything.
Yeah, I kind of feel like when it comes to sports, like Serena Williams, like you can't be like super nice.
You gotta be aggressive.
Talker.
Yeah. She's a little cutthroat is the thing, like with stuff she says. So, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Wendy's like, that's how I am, cutthroat. I'm in the second room too, but I just started my book, An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. Ooh, I've heard that is a really good author, but I don't think I've read anything by her. But isn't that one of Gwen's favorite authors? Is it Sherry?
Jesse really likes her.
Maybe it's Jessie. Okay, I was going to say it's one of them. Very cool. Good for you for being in your second room. I'm the loser. And me and Keisha haven't gotten any clue.
I mean, I'm there. I just don't want to read that book yet. I want to finish this. So
I know. That's
the problem is I'm like, well, I could save this for my other squares, but then I'm like, no, I want to read it now. I don't want to force myself because I'm letting myself read what I want to read this year. So
I feel you. And I feel like I'm going to get so like immersed in my tile book, that I don't want to do anything else. Kind of like you, Wendy, you're like really into your tile book and then you don't want to stop it. And I'm headed to the room that is Heir of Fire is the next book I'm going to read. Oh my gosh. If there was ever a tile book.
I'm literally like, I had to stop here and it's just all action. And I'm like, let's start another book.
When I tell y'all, I have this calculated on my phone, like in my notes where, let me see. I'm trying to not spoil the thing, but like I have like this is the room. This is my book. This is how many squares I need to get till here. And this is how many pages I need to read. And let me see what book has close to that many pages. So I'm not like having to stop when I don't want to.
Good for you. I mean, being methodical and planned out is how you win the game. There are some people though that are literally reading 3 books a day.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
She created this just so we could enjoy the game because like we won't know anything until the end. So just enjoy playing.
Right. And if you don't know what we're meaning when we say tile books, every tile that you can move, every space on the game board for our readathon is 50 pages. So we need a big book that can get us through the hallways to different rooms. Jules is here. Hey, friends, I'm reading A Dark and Twisting Path by Julia Buckley, and I believe I read that. If it is the second in the series, or is it the third?
Maybe the third, because the second's Death in Dark Blue.
Okay, then that is my next one to read because I actually did read the second one in that series. That is a great series, by the way. If you are new to cozies, I do feel like I didn't like rate it super high just because maybe I was in a mood. I was on vacation and my husband didn't take me to the beach. So I feel like I didn't like rate it high because I was reading it when I was in Michigan, not at the beach. But it was atmospheric. So it worked out. What did you
I
say?
gave it 5.
I know. I think I gave it like, let me see. I think I gave it 3, I believe. I think it was 3. I'm going to go.
That was the book that made me rethink what my favorite cozy mystery was.
It was like the book that started all the cozies for you.
No, it was like I had 2 other favorite cozies by that point, and I'd read some others. That's just the book that I started questioning what my favorite was at that point.
Did you read Buried in a Good Book before that one?
Buried in a Good Book is the book that got me into cozies.
Okay,
it wasn't my first cozy. It was my third.
Okay, because that's the one I still have to read, so I'm excited about that. Love to Xenon. I know. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go. Supernova girl. Yes, Vampire Diaries. Brandon, who is your favorite? Okay, I have so much. Brandon, write me. I have so much tea and so much like annoyance about the show right now. And me and Wendy have been talking about it. I've been talking about it to like my friend Morgan. Like, I'm at the place right now without spoilers where she's
because some people haven't even watched the first season.
Say,
So be careful.
I'm not going to spoil, but Elena, the main character, has made a choice that I'm very upset about. And I'm midway through on season 4. And I'm just like, oh, Elena, you're annoying me. I feel like as a main character, she's not my favorite, but everybody loves her and they will risk life and limb for her. Why? Tell me why. Jesse says, the way I couldn't breathe during the last part, Bull in Alley Catch. Oh, yeah, the last part of Bowling and Alley Catch Strike. I know, the very last one where she's like rolling the ball that's really slow. You know, if you've seen the movie and it's like.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember it. It wasn't like a big rewatch movie. Me, so I do need to revisit it.
For me, I liked it because it was one that I watched with my brother, and so it has nostalgic memories there, but that really was. I'm glad that you know, Jess. Of course you would. Hi, friends. I'm currently rereading Fourth Wing. That is, I think, Tammy, Jules, Wendy, and possibly me. I think they are rereading maybe Fourth Wing and Iron and Flame, but I'm only going to do Iron and Flame because the new one is coming out this month, and we're very excited about it, so going to be awesome. Onyx Storm, if you do not know, and if you have not read Fourth Wing, what are you doing here? Like, you need to go right now. Actually, this is the best place. Come back. Get that book and come back and read it. Yeah, I can't bring myself to vote for something I haven't read. Apparently, I can. Based off of vibes. Let's hope that it's good. So far, I like it. Hi, Tammy. Wendy, you are reading Carrie Soto is back. Oh no, I'm nervous and excited. Has Tammy read it? She probably has.
That's one of her favorites.
I thought so. Hi, Corinna. Amy, hi, girl. It's been so long. Hello, ladies. Can't decide if I was to start When the Moon Hatched or the 4th book in the Timeless series by Gabrielle Mayer. Well, you could be in good company with Wendy and you guys could be reading for the next, I don't know, year, one book. It's okay. Lit fic isn't for everyone. Thank you, Brandon. That's like the nicest response to me not liking a book that I've heard in a long time because usually I like step on toes and make people mad. Brandon, it was a great book. It was great. It just wasn't for me. And I feel like it went over my head somewhat. I love The Measure because of how thought-provoking it was. I will say it was thought-provoking for sure. If you want a book that's going to challenge maybe how you view societal goals, that would be one to pick up. You tried it though, and that's what counts. Brandon, you'd be proud because I actually almost DNF'd it. And then I was like, oh, I got to power through. I got to power through this. And it, although I scored it low just because it wasn't my lane, it did end very nice. Lena. Hi, Lena's Bookshelf. Hello, I'm in my hotel in South Dakota on a work trip, going to be reading the 3rd Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. I'm so glad. That was a read that I did for a vlog, and it was so good. I absolutely loved that book. Did you know that when I think Gilmore Girls started, Lauren Graham was 33? She was younger than me. And I feel like she was
in her 20s.
The guy, oh my gosh, in Home Alone, the burglars, Like
Yeah.
the tall, skinny one, he's like 33 in the movie. I'm like,
And I'm
oh my gosh.
you feel like when you're watching it, you're like, they're so old. Like I feel like Lauren Graham could be my mom. Like, I mean, not that she looks old, but she just acts so mature. And then I'm like, how could she have been younger than me? She just acts so much different. I don't know. My husband's like, you act more mature. Thank you, Tyler. You don't really mean that. Good for you, Keisha. I don't know what that was in reference to, but good for you.
Oh, to
don't
keep
remember.
reading a book you feel like reading, probably.
No.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at Wendy keeping up with the chat.
I
She
know.
knows.
I mean, I'm guessing. I think that's probably what
It's
she meant.
because reading on camera takes 90% of my brain power because it's so nerve-wracking. You're on page 541 of my hallway book. It's House of Flame and Shadow.
The third book in Crescent City.
Crazy. That is also a good tile book because it is like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, I think picking a big book for the tiles, I liked that because, but
I would
it does
hate to
suck
stop
stopping.
and then have to read another
Yeah.
book. That's why I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not going to my room. I'm just going to keep reading. You heard
No,
me, Gwen. I'm out of room and I'm not going in yet because I got to read.
Gwen's here.
I know. I just like Gwen pop in. When we're talking about you and your game.
I swear, every time she's here, we're talking about her. Every time.
I would just like to say publicly, Gwen is the most name-dropped person on every single reading sprint, specifically like with us three, any of our sprints. Like,
Yeah.
we name drop, like, we should just be
Let's
her
talk about
marketing
Gwen's Patreon. You should join.
We should just be her marketing
Like,
team.
literally, I think she thinks all we do is talk about her.
I know we do. All good things, though.
Hope you feel loved, Gwen.
Yes. Hope you feel very loved. I mean, you could just reach multiple books in the hallway or read. Yeah, that's true. I definitely might be switching around my books depending on what I'm feeling. That's what I do like about the hallway tiles that are the 50 pages. You can mood read kind of within that. That is nice.
Yeah.
Wish I was joining you live. Join us next time. Gwen is here. Hello, friends. I'll be reading Till Death Do Us Part. I don't think I know what that is.
That's Jesse's book club pick for this month.
Ooh,
Her Sleeping on
okay.
Dead.
I'm going to look it up just because I don't know what it looks like and it sounds intriguing. Till Death Do Us Part. I think this is it a romance?
It's a thriller. It's Sleeping I'm Dead.
Oh, that's true. That Sleeping I'm Dead would be thriller. This one? It looks good. Gonna have to add it. Taylor Jenkins Reid is a 5-star author, full stop. I have yet to read anything from her. I definitely need to. I feel like if I go into like my favorite authors, which one of them being Rebecca Searle, in the suggested authors, she's always down there. So I need to check her out for sure.
You should read After I Do.
I think she would be right up your alley, Leah.
I think so too. And doesn't she have magical realism too, or is she just literary?
I haven't seen that so far. My eye is watering, so just ignore my.
So I had something weird happen to me. Speaking about like drainage and sinuses and stuff, has anyone ever like bent over to pick something up and their nose starts draining?
Gosh, Leah, of all places, you're like, let's talk about this.
I have never had that happen to me, and I thought I was dying. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening to me?
Oh my goodness.
My brain is streaming out of my nose.
Well, sometimes like if my mascara gets in my eye, it'll just like burn and then my eye starts watering. So
well, at least we're not frozen. I'm
not crying, I swear.
We should be emotional about being on sprints tonight. Wendy, you're always right. I forget to give context in these comments. I'm very glad she's always right.
I'm not always
in the moment,
right.
you don't need to, but then we get chatty and it takes forever to get.
I know, it's hard to, and then like as we're chatting, people are commenting on what we're chatting about, so we take a while. Haha, y'all are crazy and I love it. I'm so glad because we are always talking about you. She absolutely is. I literally mention her in every vlog of mine. I know, like it's like the sleeper cell. Like you just don't know how much we're name dropping you, and then one day you're gonna like blow up even bigger, and it's because of all the little work we've done. No, it's because of you. Read it. I'm co-hosting this month. Awesome. I will definitely check that out. I have a lot to read. I'm doing good. I have read. This is my 4th book in the new year already. So yay. Also watching the season premiere of Kitchen Nightmares because Daddy Gordon. I remember this is like a normal chat thing that people talk about Gordon Ramsay. Too much reading probably won't be happening in the next hour. My husband, Gordon Ramsay, is like his favorite person ever. And isn't he Scottish, right? Is he Scottish?
I just thought he's British. I have no idea.
I
Lane's
think
gonna be offended.
actually Scottish, like from Scottish descent of some kind.
I don't know.
Why Tyler likes him, or he makes a lot of Scottish food. Thank you, Keisha, for defending Swid.
Sleep when I'm dead. Leah,
I'm
get it together.
Listen, you don't understand when I'm reading.
He's
Acronym,
British. I was right.
you are winning. But yes, I need to till death do us part next. We need to read that for sure. When you're famous, don't forget the little people, Gwen. all of Gwen's little like marketing team. Gordon is British, but he played professional soccer in Scotland.
That's a win for both of us.
Okay, so we're pretty much like right. He's had both. Oops, red. That's okay. I gotcha. All right, so are we ready to sprint? Let's see. How long do we want to go? Do you guys want to read all the way, like an hour long sprint? I don't know, like almost an hour long. Do you want to do that, or do you want to do like let's do
whatever as long as it's longer.
Let's read till 15 after. I feel like that would be good. Let's read till 15 after, and then we'll come back. That's a pretty long sprint, I think.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to bring up our screen here. Let me find it. Hopefully it's here. Okay, I have it pulled up. Bam. All right. It doesn't have music because everybody hates the music. Whatever. It's got crackling fireplace. So there we go. All right, I'll see you guys back here. Hello.
Hi.
Did you guys have a good reading sprint?
Yeah, I only read like, hold on, let me see how many pages it was. I read 85. I read like 20. No, I can't do math. 15. 17 pages, and then I was getting sleepy, so I took a little cat nap. Like I just let myself doze. But I read about That's So Raven, and we were getting into the cheating girl part. So
Oh, that's awesome. Are you still loving it then?
yeah, I'm just enjoying it. But I don't know, I'm really tired tonight, so it's hard for me to focus. So I was like, maybe if I just let myself doze off, I'll be okay. So
You know, it's so funny because I haven't read like eyeball reading in a hot minute. And so reading versus audio reading or tandem reading, because I feel like it involves more of your brain when you're tandem reading, I get more tired just reading.
yeah.
I feel you. But that's pretty good. I got, let's see. I probably got about another 12 pages in, but I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't know if you saw me. I had to keep pulling up my phone. This girl's vocabulary is extensive. So I'm just going to throw out a few words and like tell me if you knew them or have ever heard them. One is, hold on. Lugubriously. Have you ever heard that? In a sentence, there was only one other customer sitting in the corner, lugubriously posting crisps into his mouth. And I was
That
like,
would be a good book to read on Kindle, so you could tap the word and it'll give you the definition.
yeah, I might actually have to resort to that because I'm looking up the words constantly. So lugubriously means like dark or broody. And then there was another word. This one's so funny. I've never heard this in my life. Hold on. I got to go to Sisyphean. A Sisyphean. It is a noun meaning a task that has no end to it. Yeah. Sisyphean or Sisyphean. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I think that Corinna, who writes, writer, I feel like she'd probably heard of these. She's probably heard of these, but I have not. And then I think this one is like, well, okay, furtive, I've never heard in a
I've
sentence.
heard that word.
I've just never heard it in like a sentence like this, like I popped my collar to a more furtive angle. So it's like inconspicuous or like normal. And then miscegenation. I've never heard that in a sentence. It apparently is meaning, I forget. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm having to look up so many different things. And it's not like I have a bad vocabulary. I feel like I have a pretty decent vocabulary.
Yeah, those are crazy words.
But I'm like, dude. But I did highlight one thing that cracked me up. She said, the vice secretary, a woman who didn't improve with familiarity. I feel like that's so funny because sometimes you meet people and you're like, oh my gosh, they're going to be so much fun to hang out with, or they're such a cool person. And then the more you become familiar with them, you're like, oh, well, you didn't really improve that much. Like maybe not. What about you, Wendy? How far did you get?
I read 50 pages. I have almost exactly 100 left.
That's awesome. You read super fast and you're still reading.
Well, I'm tandem reading, so that helps.
That is really good. I just need to find an audiobook for this.
Well, I wasn't going to. Actually, When the Moon Hatched, I've been mostly just reading. I like that way best, but the audio is super good.
That's awesome. Is the reader Julia Whelan? That would just be like a jackpot for me. By the way, funny enough, the way I found out about The Measure, the book, is because Julia Whelan put one of her, like at the back of her book, thank you for listening. She has a lot of different books that she does audiobook for. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love that. And she did a fabulous job at that audiobook.
No, it's not. Which I don't know why that didn't come to me right away, because there's a lot of Spanish in here. So I should have realized that to begin with. Stacey Gonzalez.
Stacey Gonzalez.
Anyway, there's a lot of narrators because they do like newscasting and they make it like an actual news
That's so cool.
like thing. So it's a really good audio. So that's why I've been doing tandem.
I love that. I love listening to something that should be in real life listened to,
Yeah.
like TV or like a podcast, something like that. My book is still good, but I will say I am the type of person where I just want like less is more. Like I don't want all the details. Like I think that you and I were reading that Adrienne Young book, The Fable.
Yeah.
And there's over description. And I feel like that's kind of what they're doing. Like I love her and I know it's her debut book, but I feel like she's trying to like flex with her intelligence and it's like giving me stress. So I don't know. So far I'm liking it, but I'm also like, I feel like you're just complicating this. All right. The ambiance is so pretty. Thank you so much. I actually tried to go through and find one that didn't have music that was still snowy and vibey. Hi, Krista. It's so good to see you. Hello, lovelies. Just getting here. I am reading a middle grade by Avi that I don't love, a Christian fiction that I am loving, and a book of the month on my Kindle. Not sure which I will work on tonight. Ooh, I wonder which book of the month it is. By the way, I got the favorites, which is all about ice skating for this month, and I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait. And it has been not delivered 2 days in a row because of weather. And Wendy's also waiting on Sarah Adams' Beg, Borrow, and Steal. Like the weather is getting in the way of our goals. Frustrating. WTF, YouTube. Why did you not tell me the best ladies are on? Thank you. Thank goodness I was looking at their stories. Yay. Yvette, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you saw. The fates showed you that we were on. Now that my anger is out of the way, reading Iron and Flame, no spoilers. Okay. I'll try not to spoil anything. I definitely did not love Iron and Flame as much as Fourth Wing, but I feel like everyone feels that way because Fourth Wing is just on a pedestal of its own. Like I don't even want to reread it because I don't want to in any way like negate the beautiful feelings I had for it in the beginning. All right. Only read 27 pages of An Unwanted Guest. And who did you say wrote that? I feel like that's
Mary LaPena.
That's right. I listened to 12% in my cozy. Yay. I actually, so funny enough, I know that it's like hit or miss with cozy audiobooks, but Julia Buckley's narrator, I actually like her.
Yeah.
She, like, don't get me wrong, she doesn't have a lot going on, but she just has like just enough for it to be like comforting. I don't know.
I like the Live and Let Chai narrator too, like on all of her books. They're really good.
I don't know that, like, I know people have their favorite audiobook narrator and stuff, like Julia Whalen is a popular one, but
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to like who narrates my audiobooks. They're all good to me unless they're bad. And like if it's bad, there's only a couple.
Yeah, I don't know the names of them. Like I don't look them up, but I do notice if I hate it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, ew.
I feel like for me, it has to be, I feel like people are sort of picky about audiobooks more than me, maybe, because it has to be like really bad for it to be bad for me, because I can pretty much tolerate anything. But I will say there is a reader for, and I believe she does Throne of Glass books, pretty much all of them, because I've listened to some of hers. And like, there's certain cadences in the way that she speaks or like ways that she pronounces words that I'm like, I get the ick. But other than that, nothing really bothers me. But I will say most often the audiobook narrators that I hate are for cozies. Like they just, because I feel like it's like maybe like a bottom tier job to get. And so they don't get like the big names or whatever. I don't know the first two words, if that makes you feel better. That does make me feel better, Corinna, because I know that you are like really good at writing and that's like a huge part of your job. So I feel a little bit smarter, but I have had to look up like 86 words for this book. It's like killing my mojo. I'll start reading and I'm like, oh, this is so good. What does this mean? And you know, typically you try to pass it on like you're like smart, like you lie to yourself. You're like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to know.
I can relate in a way because the first, I don't know, like 20-ish% of When the Moon Hatched, I have no idea what was happening. maybe more than that. And there is terms. Oh, wrong way. There is what else?
You hear my
There's like descriptions of people. There's descriptions of like the times that they use.
like
There
old
is
language. like old
creature and
language?
being descriptions
Oh my gosh.
and
Well,
character lists
That's too much.
That just
and
Brain power.
pronunciation guide. And
Oh
I've
my gosh.
actually had to reference this so many times because
And
I have
this is
no
why I don't
idea
like Epic
what
Pig.
they were talking about.
pronunciation guide. I will say though, that's a cool nod because I would appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I'll be so confidently saying like a name wrong, and then I really like to have like the right pronunciation. Like with Sarah J. Maas, like all of her books are very confusing in that way. But that is a lot, and I kind of feel like, can you just spoon feed me
Right.
the stories? Like, we know you're smart. You published a book. Good for you. You don't have to prove it to us. Like, we don't use the big words and don't overcomplicate the characters. Okay. God's Brown Eyed Girl. Hello. Hi, reading All for Anna by Nicole Deese. It's about a trauma nurse dealing with PTSD after being involved in a wreck that caused the death of a little girl. Oh my gosh, that would be so horrible. I know that I had a friend whose husband was in the Army, and he was involved in a military accident involving a young girl, and it caused him to have extreme PTSD that he still struggles with today. So that I do love that aspect of books where you can kind of like delve into the mindset of someone that you wouldn't really relate to because you've never been there, but you get to kind of experience what they're going through, which gives you empathy. I really do like that about reading. Hi, Anna. I'm reading The Bridge of San Luis Rey. It's okay. I'm reading it with a reading group podcast. Oh, that sounds fun. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, what YouTube is sort of too, like in a way, like Talk Bookish to me, where we do like group podcast type things. But that's cool that you found one. I need to like go and find more ways to read. No, I don't. Oh, Leah, I love Worth Waiting just as much as the second time around. Okay, well, maybe I'm like scared. Like, have you ever had that book that you read one time and you're like, I'm afraid to touch it again because you just don't want to go back and like you feel like you put on rose-colored glasses and you don't want to go back and like reread it because you're like, well, maybe it's the wrong time and I'll feel differently. I feel that way about My Oxford Year because it was such an emotional book for me and I read it at the right time. Was it like the greatest book of all time? No, not for everybody, but for me. But I'm afraid to go back and reread. Like you all are all rereading, and I think I'm a little scared because I don't want to like ruin my memories. Wendy, are you going to be ready to start Outlander with me?
Yeah, I have to finish this first.
I mean, so no.
So, no, I'll get there.
You gotta lay one brick before you lay the next brick.
I know.
I'm about, halfway-ish.
I love how Wendy is like
the bigger half is what I've read. Okay, the camera's putting it backwards, so
Are
I have
you-
the smaller half left.
Do you have your Alicia bookmark too in your book?
No, wait,
That's
yes, I do.
I was gonna say I thought you did. Our friend Alicia from church made us both bookmarks. This is mine. Wendy's is
So-
What is it made out of?
it's her Cricut. She uses a Cricut.
That's
But it's
pretty.
like, yeah.
She-
I like that one. It's sunflowers.
I thought
She
you might.
took words out of the ACOTAR book because she knows
Aw.
that's my favorite, and then she put a tea bag in it with stars on it,
That's
with
so
And
stars
Wendy's
inside
more
the tea bag.
customized, but I really like it. She customized like bookmarks for what she did for Wendy and for me for Christmas, and then for our Christmas exchange, my birthday, her birthday. So she's awesome in that way.
Well, anyways, Anna, we're playing a game, and so that's the reason I have to read specific books. So when I'm finished with this brick, I will be starting on Outlander.
It literally is a brick. Like that could be a self-defense object in your home. Like that actually would be really funny. Comment below if you know of a book that you could use for self-defense in your home. That
Well,
is just
Yvette has
big.
about 30 of them.
Mhm.
So talking about all these big books and talking about how smart we have to be to read them, Brandon Sanderson was a really big stretch for me. And if you don't know, Wendy has a book club right now on Fable. And that was the first book that we used for her book discussion. And it was a stretch for me, like all the characters and following it and how big it was. So now I feel like I'm
There's a distinct difference between fantasy and epic fantasy.
Yeah.
There really is. Like, it's like a separation of the boys and the men. Like, Brandon Sanderson really is like the man of fantasy. Like, and it's so funny because I was like talking to some people about this, and they like you were saying, I think it was Naya who read Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, my sister's daughter read it and loves the whole series.
And these
has
people,
read so many Brandon Sandersons, and I feel stupid.
I know these
I'm
people
like,
were talking about
what is going on? And she's like, I don't know how you didn't like it. What's wrong with you? I loved it.
Yeah, I've recently met people that have like children, I don't know, 12 to 14, and they read more complicated fantasy than I do, and I feel stupid. And like, the one little boy was talking about it, and he was like naming off all these creatures, and he's like, yeah, I have to keep them all, like, all track of all of them, and I write them down in a journal and all this stuff. And I'm like, you do you, buddy. Like, you should start a YouTube. I look up sexy men voices for audio. Listen, whoever does the audio for When in Rome for Sarah Adams' book, that guy is my favorite voice. I don't know what his name is. I'm going to have to look it up, but
I didn't do the audio for that, so I don't know.
So I did like the audio, like I tried to tandem read some with that one. Let me see. I'll look it up in the next sprint. I will tell you, but his voice, he also reads for several other romances. And I'm like, I like it. Wait, I think I got lost. Hold on. Boom. I think books like that with a ton of obscure vocabulary are so pretentious and annoying. Thank you, Krista. That's kind of how I feel too. Like, I just feel like you're just trying, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying too hard, in my opinion. I loved my Oxford year too. I'm so glad, Anna.
Don't get too excited. She said she read the wrong one.
Oh.
She corrected herself later.
That's so sad. I was going to say, I haven't heard anyone say that they read that and loved it. So that's really exciting to me.
I know.
I'm sad.
Sorry. I thought I would stop you before you got excited.
I think you did catch me. Thank you before, because I would have went on a little rant about it. I'm glad you caught me. The bookmarks are so pretty. The cricket is everything. I agree. I love it. Actually, never mind. I think I remember when you were reading that because I saw it on, I think it was Goodreads. I like bad books and I cannot lie. All these other brothers can't deny. Hilarious. I love it.
Joey.
I just want y'all to see her. She is playing with her bunny, and she's just so cute. And she hasn't seen anybody on the internet for a while, so
she's so snuggled.
Joey, look.
Hi, Joey.
Hi. Joey.
Look, right here.
Hi. Hi, Joey. You should try that thing. Let's do it right now. Try that thing. There's a trend on TikTok where your animal is right beside you, but you're pretending like you can't find them. So you're like calling their name and you're like yelling for them.
I'm not about to do that to her. She's wait, let me see. I don't think she'll do it.
Then they react a certain way, like this one cat was like putting his paw on someone, and the other dog was like looking at her like she was crazy. And then this other dog was trying to, like, she was going in circles, like yelling his name, and he was like in circles following her, trying to get her to see him. And I thought,
have you seen the one where they bark at their dogs?
Yes,
that one's so funny.
I've done
if
that
I do that to Oakley, he like freaks out.
Joey just thinks there's a dog somewhere else. Like, I will do it in her face, and she'll go somewhere looking for it. I'm like,
do it now. I want to see it.
I'm not barking on a live stream.
You can bark, Leah.
Please.
What was that?
That's hilarious. Like, that's how we get her to look at the camera. We just have to bark.
Ow, 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 ow. Joey's like, y'all are stupid.
Right here. Right here. That's Leah. She's looking at you. She was looking at her at first. She was looking at herself on there. Here.
She's so confused.
This is y'all's entertainment.
This is entertaining. This is what we do. Wendy knows I hate fantasy. You do? Did I? I don't think I knew
She
that.
won't read any of it.
Wow, Naya loves it though. She is a daddy's girl. Does Shane like fantasy? Like he reads Lord of the Rings and all that stuff?
I think he might have read Lord of the Rings, but I feel like more so he just likes to play video games that are similar to that, like Zelda and all that stuff. So maybe that's kind of what she's relating it to.
Not a reader, he's a gamer.
Well, he doesn't like reading, so
Oh.
I mean, I don't think he does. He
He
reads
is telling me
sometimes.
a man, not a boy. You know what I mean? Brandon is he's the man among boys with fantasy. That is hilarious. My least favorite male reader is the guy from When in Rome. Are you serious? I hate him in that book and it almost ruined it for me. I don't know. There's like if Grumpy Sunshine was going to be embodied in a voice, it would be his. But I think that's hilarious that the one I love, you don't like. I feel like that's the story of my life. He is supposed to be from small town Kentucky, and he has a Chicago accent. Like he is about to join the mob. Took me out of the book. I mean, I do get that though. Like
I listened to that, but I don't remember what he sounded like. I don't know that it bothered me though.
Specifically
Chicago.
what's most notable about him is the way he does the female voices too. It's just hilarious. Like, but his male voice is good. I was gonna say it does it for me, but that sounds really bad. Okay, Jovi. Oh, my heart. Oh, Jovi is the sweetest. I'm so in love with Jovi. Oh, she's got a little stuffed animal that's literally her.
Maybe you.
Oh, she's like, what?
She actually doesn't like it. That's why it's sitting up here because
Like she's jealous of it. She looks like she's suspicious.
she is.
That's so funny. Oh, yeah. He loves Lord of the Rings, and he has read some Lord of the Rings. He's a huge Tolkien and Lewis fan. That makes sense. I'm assuming she's meaning C.S. Lewis, which I tried. Okay. I know he's smart. I know C.S. Lewis is a great philosopher. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I've listened to his stuff and I'm like, this is so boring to me. And I feel really embarrassed by that because one of my favorite singers of all time, which is Brooke Fraser, she actually has one of his songs in her lyrics, like, or one of his passages in her song lyrics. And it's like one of my favorite songs and I still don't like his writing. I love Adam Gold as a narrator. His voice is how I imagined The Witcher to sound, or a medieval fantasy character. I will definitely have to look him up. Keisha, you didn't give it 5 stars.
No, it was fun. It was good. I just didn't love it.
I was going to say we were shocked because we thought that would be your cup of tea because it's definitely very much like.
It was cute, but there wasn't anything special about it to me. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I would say I could agree with you that I felt like the main male character needed to be more. His voice was good, but he himself needed to be more. Like he was just a little bit lacking for me. Leah, have you tried the Narnia series? Shane read the whole series and loved it. No, maybe I'm just struggling with like.
You would probably like Narnia because he writes different in Narnia than he does in his nonfiction.
Yeah, I was gonna say in his nonfiction, I just fall asleep. So maybe I should try Narnia.
You definitely should.
All right. There's no more comments. Do you guys have any comments?
No.
Do you want to go back to reading?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Better drink some caffeinated tea, Keisha.
I know.
I'm like, I haven't been sleeping enough, so I know that's why I'm tired because I'm trying to get back on my work schedule after being on a break. So now we're about to have another break because of the snow coming. So
oh my gosh, it's going to be really hard for me whenever my kids have to go back to school.
I know.
I'm sleeping in.
We're so used to it. We've been on break for like a month.
Since the 21st, we've been on break. And so
awesome.
It's been beautiful, but it's also like it's just set this false standard of life.
I was on break from the 19th through the 1st, went back on the 2nd, was sick on the 3rd and through the weekend. So then now I've worked this week, but we're probably going to be off Friday. And then I don't know how long we'll be off for snow. Maybe not that long, but
yeah. If God blesses our lucky stars, we will have another day of break, which will make it So tomorrow's Wednesday. It will be like, what's the point of going back for one day? Maybe we'll get Thursday off and then they'll be like, Friday. Who cares about Friday?
You
Just
know
take-
that we're supposed to get another snowstorm on Friday too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God is good. I mean, won't he do it? Like, the Lord is good. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they've been talking about it.
Well, obviously mine is wrong because it says nothing's happening now and it's snowing now. So also
You say this now, and then you're going to want some alone time, and you're not going to be able to get it.
I know. Although I feel like I have definitely been in the mood of just going into my room. My kids have been playing with their Christmas toys, and I have just been rotting on my bed watching Vampire Diaries or reading my book. And Tyler came in here and he's like, must be nice. You just go to sit and do like whatever you want. I'm like, go back to work.
Yvette's comment.
All
She's
right.
so salty.
Next comment. All right. Well, let's get to cracking.
Yvette.
Let's see the last comment. Wait.
She's in Arizona. No snow for you.
Well, you wouldn't like the snow anyway, Yvette.
It's true. You probably wouldn't. All right. I'll see you guys back here at 10 after. Well, do you think that's long enough? Let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and go.
I definitely do not.
Let's go to 15 after again.
Also, don't forget to take the comment.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Wendy keeps me honest. There we go. All right. Bye, guys.
Stains are certain. So is the power of Tide, with 50% more cleaning power.
I felt like that was not long enough. I regret it. We'll make it longer next time. But
I mean, you got a lot read though.
I got a lot looked up.
Oh my gosh, I forgot you had to do that.
Listen.
Yeah, I have like 50 pages left, so it sucks to stop.
Don't worry. We'll make this talking bit short and then we'll just continue reading. But really quickly, pedantic. Do either of you know what that means?
No.
No.
It means overly perfectionist, like you're an overly precise person.
Huh.
You know what servility means? You're overly excited to serve someone in any way, shape, or form.
I'm so glad that I've lost interest in that book because I was interested in it last year. I would have hated it. I don't like, that's too many big words.
Malapropism. When you use an idiom incorrectly and instead of placing the right word in the end, you use the wrong, like dancing like a flamingo when it should be a flamenco, which is a type of dance. Flamenco, thank you. And invigilitating.
Oh my gosh.
Invigilitating means to supervise. I did find this really funny though. They're talking about, so this guy is describing what it was like to eat a coconut in the 1800s. And he said, I've never experienced a fruit that fought back so hard against being eaten. I thought that was so funny.
That's so true though.
It is so true.
They're
like
the worst.
if there is any fruit that is so obviously not edible, like it just, to me, it seems like it wasn't in the plan. That would be one of them. That and like durian. If anyone has ever heard of durian, which is a type of like Asian fruit that it's a fruit, but it smells like onions and it's disgusting. There was another thing that I thought was really funny. Hold on. Oh, symbiotic, which you think it means symbolism, but it doesn't. Symbiotic means a mutually beneficial
like
relationship.
Symbiotic relationship in science. I know what that is.
I didn't know what that was. I had to look it up. I don't know. And then I think that was pretty much all of them, but I did also highlight this one phrase that I thought was cool. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, here's another funny one. I promise I won't read many. Because he's from the 1800s, she's having to correct his dialect in modern day society. So she said, I had to correct ancestor to grandparent, sacred for polite, and tribal leader for farmer. I thought that was funny. Okay, last one. I actually found this to be sort of challenging because I feel like we can become very obligatory in the way that we do things in our Christian walk. Like we can just do it out of obligation. But it said there was more obligation than Christian compassion in my heart when doing the right thing. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, can we challenge ourselves that sometimes we don't always do the right thing because it's moral, but because we feel obligated?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Like, I just thought that was really cool. What about you, Keisha? How's your book going?
I made it through the That's So Raven, the Cheetah Girls, went through Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and Sweet Life on Deck, which that's when I sent the message to y'all because they started talking about Brenda Song and they mentioned, because as soon as they mentioned her, I was like, oh, Wendy Wu, like that was such, and it's because like an Arrow right now and I'm thinking about fighting and like, I love that movie. And then they said Stuck in the Suburbs and I'm like, that was my favorite. I was obsessed with Jordan Cahill. Which is so funny because he's like, now to me, he's just Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live. But I'm like, oh my God, that's the same guy.
That's so awesome. I love that. I love Wendy Wu. There was another one that is Stuck in the Suburbs. Is that the one that it's the niece of Julia Roberts in it, right? I forget her name.
No, it's Danielle Panabaker that was in.
Okay, Danielle Panabaker. Okay. Wrong thing. She was like, I remember now.
I know who you're talking about. Wait, no, the niece. She was in Unfabulous. Are you talking about Emma Roberts?
Yeah, there's another Disney Channel movie she was in, and I forget what it was, but she was.
I don't remember Emma Roberts.
It was like after our era, where like it was when I was babysitting kids that were watching the Disney Channel. And
so are you talking about her?
No.
That's Emma Roberts. That's Julia Roberts.
Thinking of somebody else.
Yes.
I'm thinking of
I was
someone
about
else.
to say, she was not on Disney. She was on Nickelodeon for a little bit.
Hold on. I'm gonna look
Yeah,
at
figure out. Are you talking about?
maybe it's just because she looks like Julia Roberts. I forget what her name is. I'll have to. Oh, well, it's Stuck in the Suburbs. Yeah, this girl.
Yeah, Danielle
Yeah,
Panabaker.
she does. She looks like Julia Roberts, doesn't she? I have always thought that. Slightly. All right. What about you, Wendy? What's your book? You said you got 50 pages left
Yeah.
before you like are gonna move to a room.
No, before I'm done with the room.
You're done with the room. Okay. Good for you. You were just flying through things. It's incredible to me. All right, let's see where we left off. Freaking Latita. Still the funniest comment. That book might be worth the price to get on the Kindle version. It might be. You're right. I've heard good things about it, that book, but I think I'm going to pass. Like, don't get me wrong. I do think that books should challenge you. You know, like part of reading is learning something you don't know. I mean, that's the whole point. We do it. So I would say that I appreciate that it's trying to stretch me, but it is getting tedious having to look up everything. So good idea. I only read 10 pages. I was texting with my best friend. That's nice. Nah, the book sounds
That's what I'm thinking.
like, okay, listen, I feel like I'm giving it such a bad rep. Like I'm saying, it's not bad. It's
I
just
feel like you're wanting to love it because you voted for it, but you're like not loving it.
no, I mean, I would admit if that were true. I mean, I think I am sort of going in with a hope that I will love it. I do like it. It's out of the box, but it's becoming like cumbersome because I keep looking up stuff and I don't know anything. And I feel like she has to put in a hard word that in a synonym could be an easier word, way easier, you know? So
Yeah.
that's annoying. Like I just feel like that's annoying. Like for us readers, we don't appreciate that. Stop it. Even classics don't use words like that. Now that is not Anna. I tried to read War and Peace. I remember, and I was so freaking confused because of the verbiage and the words. It was too much. She's being overly snobbish with those words. I agree though. And I think that she's like a big time. She's like something that's
She's something.
She's okay. Yeah, she's like a very big time. She's an editor. She's an editor. That's what it is. She's an editor in London. That's why she's got. If you're an editor and you're writing a book, you have to be like snobbish, or no one's gonna let you edit their book. I started dozing that last sprint. Was it not when I was doing all the vocabulary words, Jules? I have 9% left in my audio, so gonna go finish that before I head to bed. Thanks for the sprints, lovelies. Don't leave. We're gonna sprint again. We promise. Woohoo! This is getting intense. Made it to 50%. Good for you. That's awesome. Hilary Duff's show was my favorite show. I also adored her movies. Now I watch them and they are so cringe.
No, I do not accept that. I mean, I can understand it, but no, I still watch them.
I do too, but I will say there is an element of cringe in the dialogue that they do. Like High School Musical, there were parts of it where I was like,
yeah, but you have to remember, like, our brains are matured now.
Yeah.
You know?
I honestly am able to stay in that nostalgia side where I love it because it's nostalgic. So like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like when I literally probably rewatch all of the Twilight movies once every couple years.
Oh, I can
And
see those are the
those
ones
are
where I'm like, no, this is cringe. I'm done.
definitely cringy, but like I don't care because I still love them because I loved them as a kid.
For me,
See, I flip flopped on that one. I will say that's my flip flop.
I mean, Twilight is just a classic. It created a new genre of like movie making that is like awkward time, looking off into the distance, going like this, like every scene. What gives me the cringe is all of the Zac Efron scenes where as Troy Bolton, he's like singing in the school at night with like all the flashing lights and he's running
it's
around.
a musical.
Or Ashley Tisdale with her brother and the weird things they do.
like those are the cringe things, like how they make everything so theatrical. Like I really believe Zac Efron was ahead of his time being in High School Musical because he was like so good at acting that he had to dumb it down that made it look cringy and corny when really it was just too good for High School Musical.
Do y'all know like the dances and stuff? Like, did y'all learn that like that?
I did. I
all
learned
this together. I can still do it. Like
my friend
Love
Susanna and her sister Charity, they learned specifically that like up to the top.
Yeah.
So they learned that entire dance and they taught it to me, which I'm not a great dancer, so it didn't like stay with me. But I also learned the main dance, you know, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
There was another one that I learned from maybe the second movie, but of course I couldn't do it today. Well,
Maybe you could, you never know.
no, I did remember the you know, like I got that song. I should just make the worship team do it. Did you see that? Like, that's some choreographed dances. Did you see that? Like I don't know if it's the NFL or if it's college. Yeah, that they're doing like the high school different dances from like a Disney.
Yeah, they did the Parent Trap handshake and like I love that. I was like, I don't know anything about like. I mean, I know some stuff about football, but I don't care to watch it. But I will watch them do that.
Like that, she used to have Taylor Swift, but this team has the nostalgia dances. Yeah. Oh, they did Camp Rock. That whole like when they're coming in, Camp Rock. That's hilarious. I love it. Oh my gosh, I just connected that Stuck in the Suburbs. Taran Killam is married to Colby Smulders. I know from How I Met Your Mother.
I don't know if I knew that and forgot, but when she said that, I was like, oh, and I had to look it up because I don't know if I knew that and I forgot or just I never knew.
Colby Smulders has been downgraded to Hallmark now.
Oh my God.
It goes in like an order. It's like, you know, you do
I love Hallmark.
I do too, but it's still, you got to admit, it's like a downgrade from mainstream Hollywood. So there's like, everyone does a series, like a great show that everybody loves. Then they'll get downgraded to like 1 or 2 big movies or like semi-good movies. Then they do a cooking show. Then they do Hallmark. That's usually how it goes.
I didn't even know she was doing Hallmark movies.
Yeah, it's a series. Actually, you might find it interesting because I think it's a series based off of a cozy novel series. So yeah. Wait, did I miss that? No, I didn't. Okay. I do love books that teach me something, etc., but also I was unsure originally. And I don't love pretentious writing most of the time. I'm sure it's very quote worthy though, beautiful, profound, but no. It is well written. I mean, an editor wrote this book. It has to be, or she would have been mortified. But I would say that like it's profound. It's good. It has some good stuff in it, for sure. Wait. I love Colby Smulders. She's in the Avengers. She is. I just feel like it's very awkward that she's in the Avengers because she just, to me, she does not match that type of actor.
Once you see her in How I Met Your Mother, like that's the only way I see her.
I know. You can't unsee that. Just like Lauren Graham in, you know, Gilmore Girls, you can't unsee that. When she plays in silly movies, you're like, I don't understand. She was in that movie, the worst pageant, the worst Christmas pageant ever or whatever, which is a Christian movie for Christmas, and I just could not unsee Gilmore Girls. I'm like, stop it. I just finished Fourth Wing, All the Stars, favorite book of the year again. Oh my gosh, I love it. It really is. I would say it was probably my favorite book of 2023. That's probably what got me back into reading, I would say. I'll have to look again, but yeah, it's fabulous. All right, shall we read again? Let's read for a long time, and then we'll come up and like wrap it up.
I'll probably have to get off in the middle just because Tom will probably want to go to bed.
Okay. Do you want to just do 11 then? We can just read till 11. Or will he want to go to bed before then?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But I'm going to do the sprint. And if you see me leave, that's why.
Okay. So we're going to go to 11 and then we'll come back here and do a quick wrap up. Okay. Let me get it all going. I'm liking the fire crackle. I think it's cool.
Doug the Ductwork.
I gotta stop reading. My brain hurts.
That was perfect timing because I was like, man, I hope I can get through this chapter because the chapters are long. Because like they're about like this was the High School Musical chapter. So it was, let's see, 128, 38, 48. It was 20, like they're about 20-ish pages long. So I'm like, oh yeah, I finished the chapter, but the next chapter is even more High School Musical, stardom and sequels. So I'm like,
I
it's
like
just
crazy a lot.
Yeah. So I'll share with the group what I shared with Leah. So I was reading this and I'm listening to the audio too. And my jaw hit the floor when I read this part. So I'm just gonna read this one sentence. So this is High School Musical, and they were talking about like casting and all that stuff. Pre-auditions, the lead role of Troy Bolton had been offered to singer Jesse McCartney.
That would have been your dream.
Down because he didn't want to be a Disney star. My world
That's crazy.
Floating.
I mean, that's really crazy because I loved him too. And I feel like although he would have played the role very well, also, I do feel like, I don't know, Zac Efron brought it to life. But
Zach and Vanessa's chemistry, like you said, and then they talk about it here too. Like whenever Vanessa was like auditioning with Zach and stuff, like when they paired them together for the final thing, she was like, what did she say? She's like, I can't. She goes, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read against him. And they asked her what was wrong. And she goes, he's too cute. And he was like, great, use that.
That's true, right? They had natural chemistry. And I feel like Jesse McCartney is such a sweetheart. And I feel like Troy had to have sort of a slight edge to him because he was like, you know, in both.
Well, they said that like Zac Efron, though, was because remember, like he was kind of a more dorky kid. He had the little gap between his teeth, and he was a really soft and sweet kid.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But Jesse McCartney was also doing Summerland, and the way that they found Zac Efron to kind of do it was because he was co-starring on Summerland.
Oh, really? Okay. That is so interesting. I definitely have to read that book because there are so many things that I wonder, like different people who almost got cast for a movie or people that turn things down.
Yeah. Oh, so this is who, let me show you who. I won't say much else because, like, obviously people don't want to be spoiled, but I'll tell you who they almost cast as Troy and Gabriella. So Diana DeGarmo, she was on season 3 of American Idol, and she was like, well, was it season 3 or she was anyway, she was like higher up in American Idol. She's older now, so I don't know. I guess she probably would have looked more like this when she was on American Idol. And
oh, I remember her. Yeah.
So it would have been her, and I think this guy was on Tiger Cruise, if I'm remembering correctly. But hold on, Michael Copan. I don't know how to say his name. And I remember him because I thought he was a little cutie back then too.
Oh, he is cute. You said he was on Tiger Cruise.
I think is
that the one with Hayden Panettiere?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that one.
He was in Bring It On, In It to Win It too. He was one of the cheerleaders.
I love that. Amazing. Bring It On was so good. It's sad when you think about some of the actors, like Hayden Panettiere got like really big into substance abuse as well, and lost her daughter, and like just so many things.
Oh, he wasn't Tiger Cruise. It was Power Rangers. That's because
Power Rangers. Okay. Yeah, I would love to read that and just see all the like behind the scenes of the Disney characters because I just loved that world and I want so bad to be them.
Yeah, I know some people would think it's boring, and there's some parts I don't care as much about. But I mean, I think this will probably be like a 4-star read. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really fascinating. I do think it's really interesting though. Like, typical pay for like TV shows and stuff was like $20,000 an episode, but Disney Channel stars would only get like $8,000 an episode or something. So they were like really cheap, really underpaid.
Yeah.
And the way they did like The Suite Life of Zack and Cody, they have to do like an increase. What's it called? It starts with the C. I don't remember. Some kind of increase for like every so many episodes or whatever. So when they created The Suite Life on Deck, they made it with a new, like enough new cast members. Like they couldn't bring back Ashley Tisdale. They couldn't bring back the mom. and they had to add new characters enough where it would be like a new series so they could start their pay at the bottom again.
That's crappy. I feel like if you've already been with Disney for that long, like I don't know, you've been grandfathered into that payroll, like that's
So the people that did Disney didn't do it for the money. They did it because of it being Disney.
Yeah, right. They did it for the name, which Disney probably knew that, and they used that against them because, I mean, the people that were on Nickelodeon versus Disney, you can see how careers took off a lot faster in Disney, seemingly, than it did Nickelodeon. Although there are people like Ariana Grande who made it huge. And I'm trying to think of anyone else from Nickelodeon who made it really big. I mean, Amanda Bynes made it pretty big for a while. Who else is big from that era?
Nickelodeon.
I feel like many people, more Disney than anyone that you hear of. Because, like, think about Vanessa
Well,
Hudgens.
but it's because of how they ended up. Disney got to where they paired music with things a lot.
Yeah, they made everything like singer, songwriter, even like make your own CD, like Demi Lovato did her Sunny with the Side or Sunny with a Chance, whatever. And then she had her whole album because of that. So I feel like they tried to make like it was their whole thing. Like you had the series, then you're going to make a record deal, then you're going to do this.
Well, and the reason that they did that was because they had it was like the Mickey Mouse Club. It was the second round of it where they got from Star Search, they got Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Well, they were done with them and they were like, okay, we're done with the show. Y'all go on and do your life. And they all became pop stars. And Disney didn't get any money from that because they weren't attached to Disney with their record labels. They just went on and did their own thing. So then Disney eventually got to where I think they did concerts. And I think this is hilarious with their concerts. They were supposed to have Backstreet Boys on one of their like live performances, and the Backstreet Boys stood them up. And it was at the time when I hope I'm convincing people to read this. I'm spoiling everything.
I'm gonna like go get it right now.
But the Backstreet Boys were bigger than NSYNC at the time.
Yeah.
Even though like Justin Timberlake like had his fame from like Mickey Mouse Club and all that stuff, Backstreet Boys were bigger. Well, Backstreet Boys turned down this concert, and so they called like 2 days early or something. They called NSYNC and got them on, and that's when NSYNC blew up. And then they started getting other people on, and then Backstreet Boys came back later and was like, "Hey, just kidding, like we're gonna be there on this thing." And that's
right.
crazy.
Well, you're right. That's kind of, I feel like everybody kind of got catapulted from Disney. Like that is where everyone's career started. And I would understand how they are trying now to make sure that they are very involved in anyone who has talent singing as well as acting. That way they can do all of it. And then maybe later come back and cast those same people in reprise shows. Like Selena Gomez is having a reprise shows of Wizards of Waverly Place. Yeah. And like
this is the rise and fall of Disney's empire. So like it, and it's not the same because I think because of somebody said, and I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but I think I heard that Disney Channel was going to stop being on like satellite cable TV, but we have streaming services now. So that's kind of ruined that element of
because it's like no one wants to like get on and wait for the movie to come out and all that expectancy. Like we're too much into instant gratification for like that kind of stuff to be exciting anymore. And I feel like the quality of Disney Channel original movies also went down because I feel like they got very studio heavy. Like everything is done in a studio, whereas the ones that we grew up with were actually done like out in the real world. Like I felt like they did a lot of filming outside or in neighborhoods, and like Get a Clue, they went all over a city with Lindsay Lohan. I just feel like it's different than it used to be, and it's kind of disappointing. But I'm definitely going to try that book. That sounds so good. I love books that give you the behind the scenes. Like, I don't know if anybody loves The Office. I don't think you like The Office, do you?
Nah.
But I just heard that I think it's called Best Friends of The Office. There's a book about the main characters, like, why are their names? Pam and Angela, they were best friends in real life, and then they actually auditioned together, and then it like walks you through like the behind the scenes of the show. And that's why I also love like Lauren Graham talking about Gilmore Girls. They get all the inside scoops. So that's what I want to definitely read that for that reason.
It's like if you didn't grow up with this, you're not gonna like it. But if you
Right.
did grow up with this, you'll probably like it.
I feel like there's different kids. Like there's Nickelodeon kids or there's Disney kids. Some people were only watching those versus Disney. Because I talked to a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't even remember any of the Disney movies. And I'm like, you don't, but they remember things like that, All That, and Home of the Good
I
Burger.
mean, I grew up with both. I liked both, but it was like Nickelodeon was like the funny kids
Right,
stuff,
like
and then
a game
Disney
show.
tried to do like family entertainment, which made it different, and dramas, and pulling from that.
Right. And I remember too, like, wasn't it like Nickelodeon did a lot of game show type things? Like game shows with kids.
Like Double Dare and
yeah. So
Figure It Out. Oh my gosh, did you watch that?
was that on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, it was like,
If you show me or you talk about it, I'll probably remember.
let me show you. I forgot what the lady's name that hosts
Sounds
it.
familiar.
But it was a blonde lady, and it was like a big brain, and you had to figure out like
familiar. Yes.
you had to figure out the oh my gosh, what was it?
I was gonna say I don't
Oh, they rebooted it in
yes.
2012.
Are you talking about this one?
Yes. I love that show. I wanted to be on that show and figuring out what their hidden talents were.
Yes, I totally remember that show.
Man.
It was so good. See, like I just feel like entertainment in the 90s was at its peak. It was so good. And now
it's in early 2000s.
I know, like 90s and early 2000s for me as well. Like that's just like peak entertainment around that time. And then beyond that, I don't feel like we have like new people that we look at and we're like, that's like another Selena Gomez or Demi Lovato or Lindsay Lohan, like, or Hilary Duff. We don't really have those people.
Yeah.
I feel like, which is disappointing.
Maybe the younger generation see, like Sabrina Carpenter, because she came from Disney.
Yeah,
and
they're different. Olivia Rodrigo, she came from the High School Musical show spinoff. I guess there are like a few, but they're also just kind of like raunchy. Like
yes, but if you think about it, so was Miley Cyrus and Demi Lovato, but we grew up with them. So now we're adults and we're like, ew.
That's so true. I'm thinking to myself, like Sabrina Carpenter was on Girl Meets World, and then she's like all like a pinup girl on stage being really awful. And then Olivia Rodriguez is so shocking to me because she's totally like, in my opinion, very raunchy, very like, I don't know, bad mouthy. Like
Sabrina Carpenter, her Christmas special, I saw clips from that and I was like,
oh, I know.
I'd be ashamed. If I was her mama, oh,
I know. And she's
so old.
I know, me too. Like I was watching, I saw parts of that on TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this who we're aspiring to be like?
Is this cute?
Fun of Taylor Swift, but I feel like, yeah, it's not cute. Like I feel like Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodriguez or whatever, they're just kind of making everything a little bit skanky. And I don't like that. No.
But again, we did have that in our age too.
I mean, I remember when
issues with it, but
I remember when Rumors came out, Lindsay Lohan, like, I'm sick of rumors started in her music video. My mom was like, turn that off. She looks so bad. And then there was another one. Oh, what was it? Miley Cyrus. What's the one where she was in the cage and she's like swinging in a cage? Her first hit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I forget what it's called, but like I remember I was watching it and thinking like, oh, I can't believe she's getting away with that. And nowadays, like we have people who are like twerking on stage and gyrating.
I remember when Miley Cyrus was doing a show, and I don't remember if it was for Hannah Montana or if it was just her when she first started doing her separate music, where they had her on an ice cream cart and there was a pole on the ice cream cart and they didn't mean anything by it, but that was like a big thing that there was a pole on the ice cream cart.
I remember that. And she was dancing on the pole with Party in the USA. I totally remember it. It's not Wrecking Ball, Corinna. It's
it's not that one. It was when she was still
like almost impressionable for us, like younger. So coming out.
Let me see if I can find it. Miley Cyrus.
While you do that, I'll read some of the
song. Can't Be Tamed. That's what it was.
Tamed. Yes, because she's in like a bird cage and she's got like feathers or whatever.
Yeah.
My mom was like, oh, that's so bad. Yes, that one. And that's when she like came out as this big, I'm a sexy lady kind of thing.
And I just never related with that. I was like, look, Hillary Duff was my girl, but she got a little edgy too, though, with some of her music. And I was like,
but never that much, really.
We're not all edgy. I'm a soft.
We're not. I feel like the one thing she got edgy with was "Do It With Love." That whole that one, "Do It With Love, love, love." And there was a few that were. What's the one that she was dancing like in an Indian type outfit or whatever? There were a few risque moments for Hillary, but most of them were just like So Yesterday. All of the cute. What's the one? Coming Clean.
Yeah,
all of those were so good, and I missed that time. So nostalgic.
Yeah.
Your book is so much better than mine. Mine, okay.
You and your big words.
Listen, my book isn't bad. Her writing, I think, is really good. Like, I'll just read some of the descriptive things that I really like. There was
gosh.
She said, every time I thought about him, I felt like I was overstretching a pulled muscle in my brain. I thought that was like neat. She said, he had a presence as mild as a salad and beautiful crow's feet of someone who could afford to age attractively. Like, I feel like the way she writes is good, but it's the words that
You just gotta think about it.
It's like, it's killing me. Like, yeah, it's just too much brain power. Like, phantasmagoric. Like, I know what that means, but also it's like, why does it have to be in there? I just think that there's so many things she could have just left out. And then I'm trying to think, there was another really big word that I was reading. Where is it at? Somewhere. I must have not, maybe I didn't find it. There was another part where I did crack up at this because she said, he said something so unruly, I almost pushed a green bean into my lung. He watched me choke and gurgle vegetables.
No.
She's talking about choking. It's like such a descriptive way instead of just saying you choked, so I do appreciate that she's colorful, but it's just a bit obnoxious too. Yeah. All right. Wendy said, I had a feeling my hubby wanted to go to bed. He was on his way down. I will be reading and I'll see in the comments. I read 36 pages. I was on a roll. Everyone's gone to bed. We have 4 people. Yeah. Just finished. Awesome job, Wendy. Read 26 pages. Wasn't wrecking ball. Headed to bed. Have a good night. Thanks for Sprint. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody who hung out with us. We had such a good time. Wendy had to leave early. Her hubby, who I feel like Wendy usually stays on Sprints quite late, but I think that he was tired and had to go to bed. And I know you're tired too. Are you doing better now?
Yeah, I'm still tired. I'm probably done reading for tonight, but I'll probably just lay in bed. It's funny because our husbands are so different. Wendy's husband's ready to go to bed. Mine just went to the gym.
Okay.
He'll come back by 11. Yeah, he'll be back before.
Crazy. My husband wouldn't go in the evenings. He would go early in the morning, and he would leave at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. It's insane.
I told him because he used to want me to go to the gym with him, and I was like, I'm not gonna get home from work and then get back out. I want to go to the gym, then come home and settle. I
know, I would never want to go, but I just feel how do you have energy at 10 o'clock to do the gym?
I don't know. It helps him sleep though because he's tired.
Well, that's true. I will say on days that I go to the gym, I can sleep better. And I feel like my overall energy level is better. There is something to that, but maybe not going at 10. But hey, to each his own. Wendy said she had fun. I could never work out now. I'd never be able to sleep after. Yeah. No way. I could not do that either. I would be sleeping on the treadmill. I feel like for me, if I try, me and Winnie tried one time to go out around 5:30 or 6. Even that, going in the evening for me for the gym is rough. Did you used to do that? Would you go in the evening with him?
No, I mean, I would only ever go with him when we were on breaks at the same time, because we both worked at college. And so I would go because he would go a little bit earlier in the day or in the afternoons, but I'm just not a gym girly either, though. I'm much more likely if I had a friend to go to a dance fitness class or something, I would do that because I used to do that in college with a friend.
But Zumba or Orange Theory dancing. That's so much fun. I'm not good at dancing. That would be fun. If I was good at it.
I'm not great at it either, but I love it.
I was going to say, I would enjoy it if it was a fun environment and everyone's trying to learn something new and everyone's at the same skill level. but
Yeah.
I do not like going to the gym. I usually just go because of Wendy. Because I don't like to work out personally, and it is good to have an accountability partner there. If she wasn't there, I don't think I would work out as hard. But then I also leave the gym and usually go out to eat. So it kind of nullifies going to the gym. I've
Fine.
been seeing it as my time to go out. I'll go to the gym. Then afterward I go get something to eat. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not like eating fast.
No, you're just replenishing what you.
You're replenishing your carbs and your
No, you are working up an appetite because you work hard.
True. After I work out, I am more hungry. And that was what was really hard when I was working out and I was trying to like also fast, intermittent fast. I couldn't like work out and then not eat. I had to work
Yeah.
out and then immediately eat something because it makes you work up an appetite. All right. Well, we don't have many people. I think everyone's gone to bed. So we will also say goodnight to you guys. Thank you for joining. And we will see you next time for some impromptu sprints, hopefully very soon. Don't encourage her, Keisha. Wendy's always like, I need to walk you to your car to make sure you, because for me, eating out after the gym is like, not like, oh, I had a salad. It's like, I went to McDonald's.
Yeah, you could probably do better.
Yeah, I could do better in that area. Or like I go to Mexican and eat like my weight in like Mexican food. So not the same. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.